Today, we're talking about something many people may not know about Scorpio men, their ability to recognize a woman's worth before she ever names it herself. This isn't projection, it isn't fantasy, and it isn't idealization, it's instinct. Scorpio men don't assess value through appearances or performance. They read energy, the way a woman carries her pain without advertising it, the way her boundaries are quiet but immovable, the way softness and strength coexist without explanation. They see it immediately because Scorpio energy, at its core, isn't reactive, it's perceptive. Scorpio is fixed water, and fixed water doesn't ripple at the surface. It absorbs, it studies, it remembers. Within minutes of meeting someone, a Scorpio man can sense what lies beneath confidence, beneath insecurity, beneath silence. He isn't responding to what's being shown, he's responding to what's true. This is why their recognition can feel unsettling. They see potential before it's claimed, power before it's owned, depth before it's understood. And to understand why Scorpio men recognize a woman's worth so quickly, we have to look at something they understand better than any other sign: power dynamics. Not dominance, not control, but awareness. And that's where this begins. Chapter 1: Reading Power Dynamics Instantly. Scorpio men walk into a room and immediately register the emotional landscape, not consciously, not strategically, instinctively. Who feels secure, who is compensating, who is performing strength, who is carrying wounds beneath composure, who is hiding something they haven't named yet. They notice all of it, and when it comes to women, they aren't drawn to whoever takes up the most space. They're drawn to whoever holds it. Inner power doesn't announce itself, it doesn't seek approval, and it doesn't always know it exists. That's what Scorpio recognizes. Scorpio energy is trained by life to watch, not assume, to observe, not judge, to study patterns rather than isolated moments. So when a Scorpio man meets a woman, he doesn't ask, who is she trying to be? He senses, where does her power sit? He can feel when she's undervaluing herself, when she gives more than she receives, when she carries strength she hasn't yet claimed, or boundaries she hasn't enforced. That's where recognition happens. To Scorpio, a woman's worth isn't measured by how confidently she performs. It's revealed through the energy she carries, the depth she restrains, and the potential she hasn't fully stepped into. Most zodiac signs respond to what's obvious. Fire signs notice confidence. Air signs notice charm or intellect. Earth signs notice stability. But Scorpio notices truth. What's underneath, what's unspoken, what remains when the performance drops. And once he sees it, he doesn't forget it. Chapter 2: Sensing Hidden Potential. One of the most misunderstood things about Scorpio men is this: they don't just see who you are today, they see who you're becoming. They sense the parts of you still unfolding, the confidence you're growing into, the boundaries you're learning to hold, the wisdom forming quietly beneath the surface. It's as if they meet the future version of you before she exists. Maybe you're shy, maybe you're quiet, maybe your voice hasn't fully emerged. Maybe your inner power is still finding its shape. A Scorpio man senses all of it and more. He sees your emotional strength, even when you doubt it, your resilience, even when you hide it, your intuition, even when you ignore it, your depth, even when others overlook it. That's why he sometimes carries a seriousness, a gravity around certain women that feels disproportionate, because he isn't reacting to insecurity, he's responding to essence. To Scorpio, worth isn't earned, it isn't proven, it is perceived, and sometimes without a word, he behaves as though he already knows who you're meant to become, because in a way, he does. Chapter 3: Recognizing when a woman is unprotected. Scorpio men have an almost eerie sensitivity to vulnerability. Not the soft, endearing kind, the kind that signals a woman is exposed, unguarded, underselling herself. They pick up instinctively when a woman has weak or inconsistent boundaries, undervalues her time, energy, or presence, accepts less than she deserves, allows people to cross lines she shouldn't. This recognition is immediate, but here's the crucial distinction. A Scorpio man doesn't just see vulnerability. He sees that her worth is far greater than the way she's treating herself. He senses the mismatch. The value she's giving the world does not reflect the value she holds. Not all Scorpio men respond the same way. Healed Scorpios may feel concern, frustration, even disappointment, especially when this appears in women close to them, like friends, sisters, or family. It bothers them to watch a woman diminish herself when they can sense the strength she's not protecting. Unhealed Scorpios notice it too, but instead of respecting it, they may exploit it. Not because they fail to see her worth, but because they do see it and they know she isn't enforcing it. This is what makes Scorpio perception so sharp. They read power imbalances instinctively. They understand influence, attachment, and emotional leverage, how it forms when someone lacks protection. When a woman is ungrounded in her value, Scorpio sees two things at once: her exposed vulnerability, the higher standards she could be holding herself to. That gap often creates disappointment. Because to Scorpio, it's obvious she deserves more than she's allowing. Watching her accept less feels like wasted potential. This is why Scorpio men are precise in how they assess women. They do not confuse vulnerability with worth. Vulnerability is situational, worth is inherent. Chapter 4: The Respect for Sass and Resistance. Scorpio men are not intimidated by feminine sass, subtle pushback, or resistance. They're calibrated for it. Where other men might interpret sharpness as disrespect, Scorpio reads it differently. He senses self possession, he distinguishes between aggression and discernment, between chaos and conscious resistance. He instinctively respects women who do not collapse into male energy, women who question, women who challenge lightly, women who do not over explain, women who do not rush to appease. That sass, when rooted in self worth, signals something crucial. This woman is not easily influenced. She has an internal compass. She is not waiting to be chosen. She has already chosen herself. Scorpio men, more than any other sign, respect resistance because resistance reveals power. It shows a woman can hold her ground without becoming rigid, assert without posturing, say no without fear of abandonment. Scorpio energy is deeply attuned to psychological dynamics. He knows that access must be earned. Intimacy deepens slowly. Attraction strengthens when a woman does not give everything away at once. This is why Scorpio men often categorize women quickly, not to judge, but to understand. He distinguishes between women who perform confidence versus women who embody it, women who provoke for attention versus women who resist, women who surrender unconsciously versus women who choose when to open. To Scorpio, feminine sass is not rebellion. It is intelligence. It is a signal that a woman knows her energy is sacred, that she will not dilute herself to be liked, that she will not abandon her instincts for approval. And that is why Scorpio men do not just notice women like this, they register them. Because resistance is not rejection. To Scorpio, it is refinement. Chapter 5: Energetic Categorization. Scorpio men don't sort women by appearance, status, or surface traits. They categorize energetically. Almost immediately, they are asking, without words, how grounded is she in herself? How much self awareness does she carry? Does her energy leak outward or is it contained? Because to Scorpio, energy speaks the truth long before personality does. He instinctively separates women into quiet, internal categories, not a hierarchy of worth, but a map of access. Who feels open? Who feels protected? who feels performative, who feels sovereign. Some women feel porous, their emotions spill outward. Their boundaries are flexible, their sense of self depends on external validation. Scorpio reads this instantly, and he registers that proximity would come with imbalance. Other women feel sealed, not closed, self contained. Their energy does not chase, their reactions are measured. Their presence does not seek definition. This signals discernment, not detachment. Scorpio men also distinguish between women who share everything versus women who reveal selectively, women who mirror others versus women who hold their own frequency, women who confuse intensity for depth versus women who embody depth quietly. This is why Scorpio men are often misunderstood. People assume they are judgmental. They are simply filtering for energetic safety and truth. They are assessing what kind of dynamic a woman will create, not just how she makes them feel. At the core of this categorization is respect. Scorpio understands that not all energy should mix. Not every connection is meant to deepen. A woman who knows herself does not need to be decoded. When Scorpio recognizes this kind of energetic sovereignty, it registers as value, not because she demands it, but because her presence enforces it. To Scorpio, that is not just attraction, that is integrity. Closing. What women can learn from Scorpio perception. If there's one reason Scorpio men are so polarizing, it's this: their perception doesn't flatter, it reflects. They don't see women the way society tells women to present themselves. They see what's protected, what's leaking, what's quietly powerful. And the real takeaway isn't about Scorpio men at all. It's about perception and self awareness. Scorpio shows us that worth isn't something you announce. It isn't something you perform, it is communicated energetically through boundaries, through discernment, through what you tolerate and what you don't. Scorpio men instinctively register women who are grounded in themselves, women who don't rush access, who don't over explain their value, who allow depth to unfold slowly, intentionally. This kind of energy doesn't ask to be validated, it enforces itself. And that perception can feel confronting, not because it judges, but because it exposes the gap between a woman's true value and the standards she's living by. What women can take from this is simple, but not performative. You don't need to act confident. You don't need to prove depth. You don't need to demand respect. When your energy is contained, self aware, sovereign, it speaks before you do. Anyone perceptive enough will notice it. Scorpio just happens to notice first.